It is September 29th, 2021. I am still homebound with this whatever, and whatever this is that I do quietly in my private residence or a room that I'm in. I don't even have words to describe. I have a bed and 4 walls, and it's about 120 square feet. Alright, so I guess some of you might say hideout, although, whatever. Tonight, a few things happened on my last walk. As I was walking, I stumbled upon a delivery truck. Oh my God. Didn't get a picture of the drivers, wasn't really scanning them in my visual cortex. I was more taken with the gigantic delivery of boxes. Something called the Rubber Band Company. RUBBERBAND. Associated with something called a capital J for alphabet. It's the capital system. Capital J, it's an N, capital H, and then it has a word that looks like the word nation, but it's national, NATIONAi. It's nation with AI after it. And then it says Training Corp with a rose on it. So let's just say that little piece of intel fell off the back of a truck, because it did. I wasn't going after necessarily the drivers, because the story I was reporting on that I tied the made in China to is not necessarily what calls itself China, but we'll just say they benefit, or they have been benefiting from whatever this relationship is while I'm being held prisoner. So now, and China being spelled China, taking one on the chin, right? Yeah, that's not what my grandfather had in mind. And he also doesn't like it's better than a punch on the nose. Right, it's a girl. She'd like to be a little lady, and she'd like to be on the arm of something preferably over 6 foot. They don't exist in this whatever you got going on in Poisonville, Bayside Station, Bayside, New York, 11361. So anyway, so I took a picture of the box. I took a picture of one. I did not get the rubber band piece, but that was a separate set of boxes, a separate set of issues. So I just did J and H, cut off the training corp part because it had the rose, whatever, and whatever. It just seems like everything here seems to be like made in China. I don't know if that's like a secret agreement with everything evil from everywhere at certain league level. So now, just to balance things out, in the interior of the U.S.A. Alright, so that happened. Then, as I ended my walk with my big green and black umbrella, dressed as usual, like a dirtbag, the only clothing I have that is left over, I mean, like, these clothes aren't even new, there was I'm not going to call them gaggle, because I'm more respectful than that, of gentlemen. But they were wearing almost like, I don't even want to say golf shirts. They were wearing, let's say, t-shirts, but their t-shirts were ironed because somebody loves them at home. And shorts in a little whatever on the opposite corner from VIP and Bell Plaza, which was interesting. They were on the side of Dime, D-I-M-E Bank. There seemed to have been I don't know, it was a little confusing as I walked past. So I said, excuse me, gentlemen, just real quick. I said, you see that grate over there? It says Fdy. I tried to report an issue today into Fdny. Just want to let you gentlemen know. And then they looked like they were starting up their conversation again. So I just kept going because I don't really know how you all work in the real world. I've seen you guys on movie sets, but like from my television, if I have enough mental fortitude to fast forward through your like key up on a movie just to get a like, I know that they have meetings, I just don't know where they hold them, and usually it's not on the street corners, I don't think, but you never know. So, they looked like they have people that love them at home and iron their clothing or whatever in t-shirts that look different, but casual at my level of what I've been wearing and living in as I do this. So, and by the way, one of your really nice human representatives came up to talk to Linda and said, it was, Freddie with the lab, the black lab. He came up to Linda and said, Linda, it would be really nice, I think, your daughter needed a few little, some clothing. Linda said, uh-huh. And then nothing happened of that. So thank you, Freddie, for at least trying. I have no idea what they're up to. These, and then it's like, they're in the brain stem and brain area, there's something called the pons, P-O-N-S. That's where transponder comes from. You think about it, you receive divine inspiration, you ponder, right? Goes with temples and with the third eye and whatever else we got going on in weather pattern and really dangerous radio wave frequencies at my level. So I got a few inner city issues just to like add insult to injury. Okay, oh, hang on, I gotta pause this for a second. For time during this criminal period, where I was taken out and off of my natural path, which was not allowed to be, but they did anyway, for court proceedings. Generation X usually is indicative of war, so I've heard, within the correct Reich. Generation Y is either gamma, or you're asking yourself the question why, W-H-Y. In this context, it would be Benjamin, 1999. It's a question mark, because I was never supposed to be pushed with Jason Peter Romer, 1976, ever. So if that's the push that you all did for campaign reasons, then everything that came thereafter is illegal, inaction. Millennial was one circle of trust. That's how we report for Generation X, the star travelers, cosmic astronauts, the cosmological, whatever we are when we work parallel dimension. Before, during, and after, because we have such, at my level, I don't know that there's any others than me other than Nicholas. And then within my time frame of being held prisoner, there was something called a Mayan calendar. There was something called a Y2K, which is 2 breaks, which would be the break that you forced with me originally and then with Benjamin. Then Mayan calendar came in 2012. It was an ad set again. We already had Rubicon and Lexicon inside the rubrics, and then somebody wanted you to find further again to break. And then we got to Generational Z, which falls within Mayan calendar. That's why your anatomy is tracked by generational names, and Lou and Linda's generation is the boom. It's when the nuclear bomb went off and the children became the baby boom, because they're either going to kill us all again, but not by nuclear weapon necessarily. Could just be they break the machine so bad, which they've done several times within this life frame. Always looking for answers of what part do I play in it. And I'm like, I'm the kid that nobody got right, even though they had all of the legend and all of the answers to the most important test of their life frame ahead of time. They still pushed for me to be hurt. That's my part. So I'm just here reporting in what my daily observation of recon is to the big guys that know things and then disseminate things back out. So there's no question as to who's honorable of valor and responsible. So, there's t-shirts that were ironed. Some gentlemen on the corner, I don't know their names, I don't know their faces. If I saw them on the sidewalk, would never know them ever again. I wouldn't be able to recognize them, that's for sure. I don't have access to PIs, which is private investigators. I wouldn't even know how to, or who to approach for that. There's something on that Rikers Island story I did earlier about the overlay parlay. There's something called, they call themselves they're not NYPD. They are a different division. They are called NYCO. They're New York City Office of Corrections, supposedly. Although I don't know how they're running themselves these days, but that's a really important four-letter for FDNY and NYPD. There is a distinction with NYCO, and I don't know who's running it. Again, I don't have names, contacts. I told Linda and Lou tonight, I'm like, I see what's going on around here. I feel really like I'm left in a homeless shelter, so I'm building my own house of representative of representing myself, because it looks like they took all of the Congo and they bussed them or flew them in and gave them parts in my life frame, and I don't know how to project myself as Continental Congress. Because I feel like I'm in the Congo. I feel like the Congo Congress came to join Continental Congress and forgot I was here. Or use that ploy to further embed me into nothingness and then do more mischievous things and acts. Just saying, it's what it feels like. Earth, solar system, Milky Way, universe, galaxy is broken. I'm still in Bayside Station, Bayside, New York, 11361. Nicole, Cattaruzza, star 1978, star 8378.